Did you want to go into the county workshop now?
Yeah, just a reminder under future meeting subjects and update that the legislative committee meeting is meeting after this meeting, and the legislative committee is chaired by Ms. Darden Rice and includes Ms. Johnson, Mr. Newton, Ms. Long, and Mr. Dan, Chair Dan. That is the legislative committee, so please don't leave. Okay. Moving on to the county workshop. There is a county workshop on the proposed Greenlight Pinellas plan and referendum scheduled for next Tuesday, I think at 9:30 at the county. Let me just give you a little bit of background for those who maybe are not as inundated with this. It is Pinellas County. It is Pinellas County that levies the sales tax. And it is the Board of County Commissioners that approves not only the ballot, to put this on the ballot, but approves the sales tax to be levied. And that's been known obviously for a very, very long time. It's been known by PSTA for a very long time. Actually, about 10 years ago, when the PSTA board was expanded, it was expanded to add more county commissioners on it because there was this knowledge that there was a key tie to the county and to the county commissioners that had. So it's very, very important that the county board, the PSTA board, has 4 county commissioners on it. This past spring, we were well aware of the importance of the county board of county commissioners and the county itself in this Greenlight plan, and we reconstituted the ACPT specifically to be responsive to how the county wanted the ACPT to be created so that it could respond ultimately to the county. And then, of course, the Greenlight committees and the Greenlight Council, that is our public engagement effort, has also been designed all around the county commission, sort of as an entity. There are no county commissioners on the Greenlight Council because the Greenlight Council is speaking or making a recommendation to the county commission. So I think that, I don't know, maybe that's obvious to everyone, but there's a very key connection between this Greenlight plan and what we're doing and what we're working on all of our committees and the county commission. And that has been acknowledged, maybe a little bit late in the game, but acknowledged clearly now by the county staff and the county attorney and the other county commissioners that haven't served on PSTA. And they have, as the chair of the county commission, Mr. Welch, identified, we have scheduled now for about the last 4 months, December 3rd as a workshop and December 10th as the final vote by the county commission to do 3 things. Confirm what they already voted on back in February, that November 2014 is the date of the referendum. And then two items, which are at your places. The proposed ballot language and what we're calling an interlocal agreement between PSTA and the county. Now, those dates of December 2010 for all those actions, we had proposed early, and they had been part of our planning for the Greenlight Plan all along based on what we saw happen over in Hillsborough County in 2010. There wasn't nearly the amount of planning activity going on in Hillsborough before the referendum, as you know, but they didn't get, the county did not vote to put on the ballot language until their meeting in May 2010, only 6 months prior to the vote. And it wasn't really until after that vote by the county in May that they got an advocacy campaign going, or even started doing some of the planning. So they were doing all of these things in a very short period of time, and that as one of the reasons they identified town as being a big problem toward their failure on that referendum. So early on, we knew that, and we set December to give ourselves a year time for the advocacy campaign. So it is very important, I think, or it is very important to stick with that December vote by the county so that we can keep moving forward and have enough time to keep getting out into the public with this information. So again, December 3rd and December 10th are sort of the key dates that we had been identifying. And then just about, well, really a week ago, the county, who has just started sort of analyzing this in greater detail, the county staff, worked with the Chair Welch to schedule Tuesday, October 29th, as a third time that the county board would discuss this in some detail. Two items that we have prepared, Alan Zimmett and myself have prepared, and we presented these to the county attorney back in August and to the county administrator back in August, that are before you are the draft ballot language and the proposed interlocal agreement. And I have a slide, one slide. Presentation here. I don't know if it can be shown. The priorities that Alan and I put together in drafting that, first the ballot language that you see before you are two things. Number one is simplicity and straightforwardness, and that is what we have tried to highlight throughout this entire green light process. And as you know, it is not simple, but it is very difficult to make all these transportation issues simple. But we believe that it's important to make this as clear as possible to the voters what this is all about. And so that would still be our goal. Not to turn this into necessarily a legal thing or a safety peer thing or anything like that, but try to make it as pure and simple as possible.
Is that 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 2? Is that?
Oh, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. Number 2, I'm still on the top. Number 2, this is not as important as number 1, but number 2 would be that the words Green Light Pinellas be somewhere incorporated in the title or in the, at least somewhere in the initiative. One thing that happened in Hillsborough County that we learned, now I'm not sure if this actually caused it to fail, but all of their advertising and outreach that they did in a very short period of time, starting just in May, was called Moving Hillsborough Forward. That was their logo, and that never appeared in the ballot language at all. All of their mail-outs and signs said, vote for Moving Hillsborough Forward, and then there was a very long ballot question. The interlocal agreement that you have that Mr. Zimmett drafted and provided to the county attorney is a fairly straightforward document that's not very long, and it covers 3 things, Mr. Newton, not 2. 3 priorities are captured in that agreement. We need this agreement because, again, the county collects the sales tax, and then they have to, the agreement governs how they would give it to PSTA to implement the Green Light Plan. The 3 most important things that are incorporated into that document are, number 1, that the 100% of the sales tax funds go to the Green Light Pinellas plan. And the reason that's the most important thing is what Ernst & Young has presented. The financial plans and the sustainable plan over the long period of time for this funding source requires 100% of the projected revenues from a 1% sales tax. Number 2, not as important as number 1, Number one is to implement the Green Light Canals plan. Number two, which is very important, is that the money flows from the county to PSTA. Now, the reason versus some other entity, BOD or something else. At least the plan's up to date, and at least our recommendation is that the money would flow to PSTA to implement the program. And number three, I'm sorry, I didn't say number two. Number three, this is the local, or this interlocal agreement is the vehicle by which we will eliminate the PSTA property tax when and if the sales tax is approved. We tried to get the state 2 years ago to eliminate PSTA ad valorem from our ability to levy a property tax, but that was vetoed. So this is the workaround plan to do it locally. There's a section number 5, the clause number 5 in that agreement speaks to this. That if, in the event that some future, and no one that's here now, but some future PSTA board would decide to levy a property tax, which would still be theoretically in the power of PSTA to do, PSTA promises in this agreement to remit an equal amount of money back to the county, so that there would be no financial incentive for the PSTA board, for a future PSTA board to levy the property tax, because we wouldn't get any more money. We have to, the county essentially is made whole, and PSTA doesn't get any additional funds. Now, there may be a question. We originally came up with this clause that the county would just withhold dollar for dollar sales tax from a PSTA board that levied a property tax. But we've reviewed this interlocal agreement with Ernst & Young, with the Ernst & Young advisors, and with other bond counsel. And obviously, there are concerns or there are limitations on our debt issuance down the road that we're looking at for any restrictions or impacts that the county might impose on this sales tax. Obviously, the cleanest way to issue debt under this that would appeal to, say, bondholders would be if it was as straightforward as possible flow of funds, so that, and that they would be the first to be covered by under any debt. And so this section 5 is a little bit of a question whether or not if a county commission or a PSTA board in the future might reduce that sales tax flow, that might have an impact on our ability to issue debt. So the best case scenario that Alan and his other attorneys at his firm have come up with is that PSTA promises to remit an equal amount, not necessarily that the county would withhold the amount. It's still not as good of a fix to the property tax elimination as a state action to eliminate that from PSTA. So the action, and the legislative committee supported this at their last meeting, is to continue to pursue a state action to eliminate the PSTA ability to levy an ad valorem tax